Welcome everybody to our second Ask the Trainer event. We're here today with Sharon Saraga-Walters, who is our fitness trainer of gratitude and of our bodies and being grateful for our bodies, which is a good thing. Thanks again, Sharon, for doing this and for answering all of our burning fitness questions and tying in, I think, the very emotional things
Thank
to
you.
the
I'm
physical
I'm
as
so glad to
well.
be here. Always. Thank you so much.
Absolutely, absolutely. So we were chatting a little bit before we came on today. I went to 90s Con last weekend, which last year we only went for one day, which was a lot in itself. So I don't know what in that told me you're ready for 3 days, but here we are. And we talked in the last time you were here about some of the chronic issues that I've had with my body over the course of my life and these different injuries and stuff that I've experienced. And, when you go to a big event like this, it's a lot of standing and walking. And if you want somewhere to sit, you better plop on the
Mhm.
floor and then having to get up from that, which is a whole
Mhm.
other
Mhm.
experience when
Mhm.
you're older, getting up off the floor. Um, and so, some of the things that I feel like I did to sort of handle that is when I had to wait, I found myself like stepping in place or, kind of rocking back and forth between my legs. And maybe there's something to that. Like, is there something we know, like the saying,
Mhm. Mhm.
objects in motion stay in motion, but does it help us to, maybe not be still when we have to wait in line somewhere? Is there anything to that, or
No,
did
I
I just
think
do it
the
because it
wonderful
felt good to me?
intuition comes in, and it's absolutely right when those things happen. Because yeah, your body likes to be in motion, kind of just like moving around. You're not like
Mm.
jarring your body, but no, absolutely, motion is good. It actually even taps into blood
Yeah.
flow to moving once you start moving your body. So does the blood flow,
Mm.
which is always good.
Right. Yeah, I found myself moving a lot, and I would even, like, if I would start to tense up, because we know I had the shoulder injury last month, but like I was
Hmm.
doing like a
Hmm.
lot of self massage and like just I didn't care how it looked to anybody else in the moment. I was like
Well,
in
too,
survival
it's funny
mode.
because, well, not funny, but sometimes when you do that, somebody may think you're a massage therapist and they're going to ask you, they ask you to help, they want a massage next. So it's not looking funny. Just you got to wait. You might be getting somebody to ask you to rub them.
No, I don't do this for a living, people. I was just trying
Good for
to make
you.
myself feel better. Um But do you have any other like tips and tricks for people who might be going to a long event and maybe they're not in their fittest shape they could be
You mean
in?
like the standing part or things like that?
Yeah, like anything that, like,
Mm.
look, it's a whole weekend event. You're going to have to be standing, waiting, a lot of walking back and forth, a lot, maybe
Did you
more
do any
physical
stretching
than what
before
they're
you
used
left your
to.
hotel room?
I did not do any stretching. And also, I learned my lesson after the first day about making sure I had
Ah,
my
for
refillable
sure.
water
Hmm.
bottle. Because that was the next thing that you're in the hustle and bustle of it and you don't
Yeah.
remember,
Oh,
oh,
for sure.
hydration.
Hmm.
And so the first day I
Mm.
was really dehydrated, but I did bring my
Yeah,
refillable water
that's
bottle
a
the
great
rest of
thing
the
to do.
weekend.
Also, I'm really big on when I'm going to a big event or something. I Before I get out of bed, I take that time to really do like a 1 minute, 2 minute visualization of how I want to see that day and how I want to see my body, my mind. Really doing some nice deep breaths too. That really helps, and just envision the day before I get
Mhm.
out of bed when I have something big like that.
Yeah, I love that idea too. And I think even sometimes we don't, when we're going to a big event like this, we don't really know what to
But
expect.
have your
And
how
so
you want.
to
It's
kind of
about
like,
you, how you want it to look. Like
right,
that. I think that's really helped me a lot
right,
through that
right.
process, and just envisioning,
Yeah.
seeing people, but then also for you, however we are for you, like that it's gonna, it's gonna just be fine. I'm gonna be and breathing throughout that whole event. Really focus on your breathing as well
Mm.
with that.
Yeah. Yeah, those are super helpful tips. So make sure you're drinking your water, stretch before, visualize what you want it to look like. Self massage, do a little movement while you have to wait. Doesn't my daughter was like, I'm surprised I didn't get in as many steps, but we did do a lot of waiting. I was like, nothing stopped you from stepping in line. Like just march it out while you're waiting,
Exactly.
you know. Um but I want to get into, we had a few more questions come in, which you guys can do. We'll make sure if you're watching the replay of this that the link is down in the description if you have any questions that you want to ask Sharon. One of the places on my body throughout the weekend that really took a hit
Mhm.
was for sure my back. Are there any specific exercises that people can do? Because even as I think about supporting our backs, I think about the muscles around our spine and I'm like, how in the world do we get to those? You know, is there anything in like specific stretches or things like that that we can
So
do that will help
where on your
support our
back are you
backs?
speaking of?
Well, it could be
But
I mean, I
for
know
you,
there's different
lower back.
places.
Okay. Hmm.
For me it's my lower back because I had my spinal fusion
Okay.
that I had
Okay.
was L5S1
Hmm.
in the very lower, very lower back. So that's where my
So,
discomfort comes in.
what comes to mind, like, so when you're before you get out of bed in the mornings, do you ever do any stretching for your back?
I mean, I do not anything structured, but I do stretch before I get out of bed. Like I sort
Uh-huh.
of like I sit on the edge of my bed and I bend all the way forward and try to, because that's a good way for me to
Uh-huh.
bend forward
Sure.
rather than standing, as I sit on the edge of my bed and I do it. And then I just kind of do both sides, and
I would say
that's
even
the
before you
extent
get
of
out
it.
of bed, you can be laying.
I lost your sound, Sharon.
Okay. Okay,
There you
perfect.
go. I hear you now.
So I would say that, when you're laying down on your bed, just to gently bring one knee in at a time, just to the chest. You know what I'm talking about? So you grab your knee. I
Mhm,
wish I could. Let me see if I
mhm.
can do this. Okay. So I'm grabbing my knee and I'm bringing it to the chest while you're laying
Yep.
flat on the bed, and then just come bring it back down, and then do the same thing with the other, so
Gotcha.
that you're not being so drastic with it. You want to take it slow. But so doing that, and then I tell all my massage clients, what I love is when you're laying in the bed, you bend both knees and you just gently go side to side with those knees, very gently. That's,
Oh.
in fact, I'd start off with that one, both knees bent, and then just going just gently side to side. You don't want it to hurt at all. But again, that's just kind of gently, like you're moving when you're standing up, but that's doing it laying down. So you're just gently moving side to side, and then try it
Mm,
one leg at a time, where you bring the knee into the chest. That's what I would say. Um, and
right. Right.
yeah, I think that's a good start, because I don't like to overdo a lot. I think a lot of times it's stiffness. What about the other thing is, what about either a hot shower, um, heat? Those are also really good to do to really loosen that up.
Yeah. I love that for sure. The heat does really help. I want to
Hmm.
ask you too, from a massage perspective. So when if we have a place of discomfort and we're like, maybe we need some pressure there, does it does just making pressure on the area, does that alone help, or should we be going in a certain motion? Like what does that look like? What's have the most like
So give me
effective sort of self
tell me a
massage
point
if
that
we
you're
need to do
speaking of.
that?
Like, give me an example. What point would you say?
So, okay, I'll take you. Well, let me do an easy one that we can kind of see. Okay, so with my shoulder injury, this
So is
spot
it like the
right,
trap?
you
Is
can
it the
kind of like
trap,
if
or
you
is
put
it
your
going
hand
down?
right
Okay,
here.
so it's more the trap. Okay, so show me
Yeah,
what you were
yeah.
doing.
So
Tell me
sometimes
what
if
you would
I
do.
just so I'm pressing in and then sort of
Uh-huh. Yep,
moving.
yep, yep.
Can you see what
That's
I'm
good.
doing?
My
Like I'm
first my
pressing
first
in and then
inclination
sort of
was,
moving
is
out.
just to like even squeeze the muscle. So that's my first inclination that I'm
Okay.
thinking. And not,
Yeah.
not too much, but just just kind of just squeezing it, because that muscle, if you can't, like, is it really tight that you can't squeeze it? Okay. And
Mm, yeah, it's very, even on the other
yeah,
side that
man,
doesn't
I wish I
have
was
the
there.
injury is the
So,
same.
um,
I know.
so,
Thanks,
but
Sharon.
and possibly either, are you doing any PT, or could you, can you, do you know any friends who are massage therapists where you live?
Yeah, I may end up doing that. And I also thought about too,
Mm-hmm.
because I have a TENS unit, I thought about putting the TENS unit on it and seeing if that will help as well. But I think the biggest reason for me asking that is because sometimes we do have that. For example, when I was waiting in line and I had that discomfort, even on
Mm-hmm.
either side of my lower spine, like I get that, you get that discomfort there, and I just sort of, like, my intuition
Mm-hmm.
tells
Mm-hmm.
me just press on it a little bit, and I didn't know if that was doing
Well,
enough
you know,
or if
and I'm
I
telling
needed
you,
to move with it.
the just the whole thing, and I love what you're saying about this, because your intuition, see, you know your body better. You don't have a massage degree, but however, you know your body more than I would know your body, because you're inside of it. So when you
Mhm.
did that, did it feel better when you did that, when you pressed it?
Yeah, I mean, the interesting thing about massage for
Mm-hmm.
me, and this is why I don't go get massages all the time, is because
Mm-hmm.
sometimes, like, it'll feel good in the moment,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like, as they're massaging, it feels good. But then
Mm.
after, I hurt really bad. And then it eases again. So it's
Do
sort
they
of
do
this,
they
like,
do they do really deep
roller
work?
coaster. When I used to get massages all the time, it was like, I would always tell them go easy. And so
Mm-hmm.
it, like I said, it feels good in the moment, but then I hurt worse for a little while. And so it does the same thing when I do that sort of
Mm-hmm.
intuitive self massage, is like it'll feel good as I'm pressing, and then it'll hurt a
Mm-hmm.
little more,
Mm-hmm.
but then it'll ease again. And I
It
just
is
didn't
it
know
is
if, like,
normal,
that was
but I
normal.
think, I mean, because look, I've been 33 years a massage therapist, and I, on myself, I would get into my occipital ridge here when, if I'd have a headache on my neck, and I, many times, I almost made it worse because I went too deep. So, and I learned from that. So you really want to be,
Ah, okay.
it's better to not go too deep. But I will speak on about the occipital ridge. I don't know. In the back, I kind of say in between, not too much, but not real light. And I just think, really keep trusting your intuition and what your
Right.
experiences were when you did that, and remember what you did and how you could change a little bit.
Mm,
Um, but I also, the heat, do you
right.
use just a hot shower? Do you use a heating pad? What do you use? Okay, okay.
Both. Both, I would, because I love heat. In fact,
Hmm.
when I hurt my shoulder and I
Hmm.
had to
Hmm.
alternate the ice and heat, the ice part
Mm,
I literally
yeah.
cried through. Like, I knew I needed to
Yep.
do it because there was swelling. It was because I would have to do, but then
Hmm.
I'd be like, heating pad time. My
Yeah,
timer would go
yeah,
off and
yeah,
I'd
and
hurry
that's
up and get,
really, unless there's, when there's an injury. But if it's just hurting, I always tell ask people what feels better, because if they absolutely do not like ice, I don't do it, because you're going to be tensed up the whole time and you're not doing any good.
right,
You need to have what really works for you. But yeah, I think
right,
I really think you have more,
right,
you're doing more good things and the right things than you imagine. But I do think in the bed thing, I would say
right,
every day, and before you get out of bed, I mean, it take 1 minute and really just gently move, your knees are bent, and just move side to side at the same time. Both knees are moving, gently side to side, keeping your low back on the mattress. You don't want the low back to be moving with you. So you keep that pretty as solid as you can on the
right,
mattress, but just moving your knees bent
right.
side to side.
I was going to ask about that too, because, we talked last time about my journey of what
Hmm.
I was doing compared to what I'm doing for fitness now, and some of that time was things like stretching in the bed, and I had this sort of thought that would pop up about, is my bed maybe too soft to be doing this? Could I hurt myself worse? Is there anything that people need to keep in mind when it comes to doing things like stretching in their bed? Like, does mattress firmness and all that
Yeah,
even
it could.
matter?
And I think you could try it, and if it feels too, it's too soft and you're not getting the stretch, or it just feels really uncomfortable, then yeah, there's your answer. It's like, it's about, do you have a really soft mattress?
Right. It's
Okay.
kind of it's
Mhm.
in between, which is really good.
Mhm.
I think my old mattress, I used to try to do stretches, but it would just
Yeah.
like it was
Yeah.
like I was going too far,
Yeah,
like
absolutely.
pushing it a little too
Yeah,
much.
I would say, yeah, but I just think they have to, it's, again, we are the best guides of what we really need if we just listen to our body. Like truly, I believe that we each,
Mm.
I can give ideas and listen, but I will very much listen to people because, like I said, they're inside their body and they know it better than I do. For start, I mean,
Right.
it's a teamwork of
Right.
that, really. I really take a lot of, I take a lot of weight about what people are saying about their bodies when they do.
Right. Right. So I want to sort of keep with this same theme instead of jumping to a question that's wildly different, because I think that that's going to help people as we go along in this series. But so I want to sort of stay on that theme of recovery a little bit, whether we're talking about doing a full
Hmm.
weekend event that maybe our bodies were not prepared for, or we just finish a workout that maybe
Hmm.
is more challenging than normal. What are maybe some of your best tips for recovery, like as far as when we're finished with the workout,
Hmm.
when the event is over, and now we're like, ugh. And I think sometimes it can be challenging to go, well, I mean, yes, we want to listen to our bodies,
Hmm.
right, and
Hmm.
go, do we need to rest? Do maybe that need to be what happens? But for me, I find it challenging sometimes to go, do I need to rest a little bit more, or should I maybe do some stretching now? Or what are your best like recovery tips when you're spent after either a workout
Well,
or an event?
okay, so I would say, um, again, I'm going to go back to the listening that people do not listen to their bodies per se. They don't. And they're
Mm.
also hesitant to go about rest. That's like a bad word for a lot of people. Where really rest is not a bad word, and it's exactly maybe what the body is asking for. And sometimes we don't listen to it. So I would really ask your body, what is it that you need, and just that you're there to totally listen to it, what it's going to say to you, what that is. I mean, if I after well, okay, I'll use an example. On Thursdays, I go to my massage place. I love it. It's the senior 55 plus community, and I call it my massage marathon day. So I see like four people back to back,
Mm.
and I have 15-minute break in between. Um, and I just know that, like, that evening, I'm not going to do anything. Even the next day, I know I'm going to just see how my
Mm.
body feels, and I'm not going to do a lot. I'll go like for a light walk, or I'll do some stretching. Um, but I'll do things good for me, and I don't give it any flack. I mean, I do that every Friday after that
Right.
Thursday. Um, I do that, because I used to get really kind of anxious when I was going Thursdays, because I go, oh no, here this is 33 years of massage, so it's not like it's a big day for me. But I like it, and I like calling it a marathon because I know it's, I'm up for it, and I'll do it. But I prepare myself the day before and the day after. I really do, and I think that's important. And if you I'm a big believer about rest. I'm a believer about drinking, making sure you're drinking water, even maybe more before the event and after. And once I believe that if you once you give yourself permission to listen to your body and what it wants, it's going to give you the answers. It just is. I think it's us really listening, and
Right.
don't feel any judgment or any guilt about whatever it tells you. And so let me ask you this: do you
Right.
feel sore or anything after every workout?
Um, well, it depends. So for example,
Mm-hmm.
the walking workouts that I do, um, the walking ones, I used to feel like really achy even in the middle and
Uh-huh.
going into the end. Like
Uh-huh.
I would be pretty sore starting like in the middle of the workout. Now I can do the walking workouts and I really am not that sore after. I have those select places, like for example, right around where my back surgery was,
Mm-hmm.
or my shoulder, because I'm nursing that injury right now.
Mm-hmm.
So I have those select places that will ache, but
Got it.
before it was my whole body. It would feel like
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it would feel
Mm-hmm.
like a
Mm-hmm.
flu. after the workout. My whole body would ache. So it's different now. And that's one thing that, like, I think sometimes we get into these exercise routines or fitness programs or whatever, and we can't understand
Mhm,
why,
mhm,
like, we hurt worse at first. And I sort of, my thought that I tell everybody
mhm,
now is, you're not
mhm,
going to see it when it's happening. Like, you're going to be like me 260 something days later and going, oh, I see now how when I first did that, I felt like the flu, and now I just have these select little places that ache for a
mhm.
good, in my
Yeah.
mind, a good
How
reason,
long
because
do you
there's
walk
injury
right
there. But
now?
you anywhere between 20
That's a
minutes to
lot.
an
That's a
hour. It
big
just
difference there.
depends
And I would
on.
say, check in with yourself. Is there a better area of time? Are you better at 25, 30 minutes versus an hour? To take notice about how you feel when you
Mm,
do certain minutes, because that again, your body's telling you right there
yeah.
what you should stay with. And because
Well, and that's why I used to, and I'm sure I would love to hear your take on this as well. When I first set out to create a routine for myself, I would
Mhm,
be overly specific. I would say, I'm going to walk Monday through Friday at 7:15 a.m. for 30 minutes, and I have to get my heart rate up to this. Like, I would put all of these parameters in place for myself, and then sit here and go, wonder why that didn't work out.
mhm,
Why didn't I stick with that? And now
mhm,
that's why there is that difference
mhm,
between 20 minutes to an hour, because when I wake up in
mhm.
the morning, I evaluate,
Yeah.
what can I do today? And not even just making that decision then, but I
Mhm. Good.
continue to check
Mhm,
in with myself during the walk. Yesterday, I put on a 40-minute
mhm,
walking video, and about 20 minutes in, I said, I'm
mhm,
really
mhm.
starting to ache pretty bad right now. Like this, I don't,
Yeah.
and I'm going to go ahead and stop, because I've done 20 minutes, and that's more than I would have done if I would have stayed in bed and
That's
said, well, I'm
excellent.
just not
That's
even going to
excellent
try
to
today,
listen to your
you
body
know?
and stop. When you feel that, that is so important. And that's when people will they'll stop, they won't enjoy their workout, or they'll get injured, or or all the above. And it's really good that you're doing that. I mean, because it doesn't matter. It's better that you do 20 minutes of having a good experience and your body feeling better than going with for an hour and feeling
Mm,
horrible and your body hurting. Yeah.
yeah. Do you think that having a workout that's a that's a good experience is more important than
I think
people
it's
give it
the
credit for?
ultimate number one reason and experience to have. I do.
Mm,
And if I don't, that is
yeah.
what I always go
Yeah.
for. And even the years that I was a trainer, that's the only way I had my clients be, was if they didn't have a good experience with it, I
Mm,
wasn't going to have it. I mean, not when I was working with them. I think it's the number one most important thing to do. I mean, it's kind of like in life, even just it's the
yeah.
workout room, but in anywhere what you
Right.
do, you want to feel the best at it and feel good. So the same thing works with a workout. Why not? I guess years
Right.
ago we just said, what was it? No pain, no gain or something, kind of things. So yeah,
Right.
it's changed a lot,
Right.
and it's not about that. It's about having the
Yeah.
greatest experience
And I
and
think that,
feeling good that you want, it was so
right.
good that you feel good about yourself and you're ready to do it the next time.
Right. I think there's a difference between knowing
Hmm.
when you need to push yourself and being so rigid that we just
Hmm.
can't even have fun with it at all anymore. I will even find myself now, even with the walking workouts, the one I was doing yesterday, there was some music came on that I'm so weird in this way. I have to know the songs. I have to be able to sing along if I'm doing a workout with music. I don't like just
Hmm.
random, like, like, I don't, that's not my cup of tea. I want to be able to sing. So, um, I was doing this workout yesterday, and a couple songs came on that I just didn't know.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, this is not fun for me right now. I don't know this music. I can't get into this. And so it's okay to, like, switch to something
Hmm.
else that doesn't,
Right,
change the
right.
channel.
So
Change
when
the
do you do
channel.
that? When do you do the walking thing?
So I usually do a walking workout in the morning. That's what I do when I come into the gym here at
And
7:15
what was the
a.m.
one that you
That's
were
what I
talking
put my
about at
walking on.
like
But
noon or something? Or do you do that also or no?
yes, yes. So we just
Hmm.
actually started that yesterday, April
Hmm.
1st. It was not an April Fool's joke. Um, so we had the 2 community fitness hours, and sometimes people will come in, but they want more of that, like, um, they don't want to just come in and put on their video and not like talk to anybody. And so the new walk in midday walk and talk happens at 12 o'clock here in the gym Eastern time, and you can just get your steps in. If you have a walking pad, if you have a
Hmm.
treadmill, if you just walk in place and chat with other people while you're walking. And so that'll be like more of
That's
a
cool. I love that.
social
I'm gonna have to
workout to
come in
get
for
your
that
steps
just to experience it and hear you sing.
I don't know if I'll be sing. I could now though. We could make a like a karaoke
But if
walking
you sing, you
karaoke
may have to
hour.
cut back your pace a little bit. That's all. That way it allows for both.
That's the thing. That's what I said. During the show this morning is it's you can talk as much as you can between
Right,
your
right.
huffing and puffing through your walk for you. Uh, but yeah, I think we've had some good talking points today about recovery, about handling when maybe you're doing an exercise or an event or anything like that that's new, that maybe your body is not, used to that yet. And you got that a little bit more of that recovery time. And I really love the focus on listening to your body, because ultimately we can say any number of
Hmm.
things. We can give you a ton of ideas here in this Ask the Trainer event, but you still have to take those ideas
Hmm.
and filter them through your body and
Absolutely.
say, like, what do
Absolutely.
you need?
Yeah, I do. And I really, I love that we have talked about, because really the most important thing is people don't trust themselves in listening to their body, but it's really start trusting yourself, because really those messages that are coming in are
Yeah.
coming from your body directly for you. So befriend it and really listen to it.
Right. Right. Any final things that you want to leave everybody with today, about either recovery or listening to your intuition, or maybe even the difference between listening to your body and going, no, maybe I
You
should see
know,
somebody
I
else
think what
about
one thing I
this.
like is, I think we tapped on a little bit, but the other part to this is just really have fun with your workout. Don't make it hard. Make it so that you really feel good about yourself in doing it, and that you really look forward to doing it the next time. I think that's how I want to leave with you. That's really important too. Yeah.
I love it. It's such a good reminder, because I can see that even in the event from this last weekend. If it wasn't something that I
Hmm.
was at where I was having fun and I was like in my element and all of that, I
Yeah.
probably wouldn't have
Hmm.
gotten through it the way that I did. There's something that takes over your
Hmm.
physical body
Hmm.
when you're
Yeah.
having a good
Or
time.
making it, yeah, or just making it fun. Whatever you have to shift in order to make it fun, you have to do that. Yeah.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. Well, we thank you guys again for tuning in for our second Ask the Trainer event. We will have another one in May. And so we hope you will join us for that. And in the meantime, I have the link down in the description for you guys to check out the form if you have any questions you would like Sharon to answer. I know we have some toning your body questions we'll get to next time that will be fun. And so we hope you'll join us again. Sharon, thank you
Thank you
again
so
for
much. It was
joining us
fun.
for this event.